Hey, this is Matt once again. What about 10 other videos? It's another paid request, this time from Manuel. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, re-reviews, randomness, out of the blueness, whatever it may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. So Manuel wanted me to do a commentary on Star Wars A New Hope. So okay. I mean, I don't know what more I can say that has been said about the film, but I'll do my best. So as for which version, I have the version that's 2 hours, 4 minutes, and 44 seconds. Since, Disney, whatever the hell the reason for it, not releasing the original versions, I don't know. And I thought I had the despecialized versions, but it was like a DVD-R. I don't know. I never bought the one from that. Someone has like a website that was selling them. I never bought them, so I don't have those with the special features. Maybe one day I will. But yeah, the version I'm watching is the 2 hours, 4 minutes, and 44 seconds. And let me make sure which version this is. I'll know by how the damn... Yeah, when the thing blows up, it's in a big old onion ring thing. So I'm guessing most people that have this have that special edition version. So, and let me double check real quick. Yeah, it is, because you have the new CGI scenes, which, and the Jabba the Hutt scene that we didn't need. We didn't need to see Jabba the damn Hutt in this, so. And like I said, I mean, I'm sure most people have that version. So, 3, 2, 1, pressing play. 20th Century Fox, a logo you'll never see again because Disney changed they bought it and then they changed the title to 21st Century Studios or something. Lucasfilm. I mean, this is before Disney bought the shit. A long time ago, when these movies were far, far away from shit. To me, this is just called Star Wars. I hate calling it A New Hope. So no, I just call it Star Wars. And I would say of the movies, this is my favorite Star Wars movie. I think I just like... It's a contained story. Beginning, middle, and end. They blow up the Death Star. There's a ceremony. Yeah, Darth Vader gets away for another day, but a boy becomes a man. A smuggler becomes a hero. A princess is saved. And that's because, despite what George Lucas wants to say, I know he had these ideas to do more films, but there could have just been a one-and-done deal. So you have to may have the possibility of that. So if it is, there's an actual ending. But, there's still room for sequels if you do another one. Now, I have the Star Wars trilogy on VHS, which I think is the unaltered versions. But I don't even have a VCR anymore. Which is fine, because I only have like 7 videotapes anyway left. But these were films we had on as a family on videotape. Now, believe it or not, I liked the Star Wars films, but despite my hubris of anger at what Disney's been doing, I'm not a diehard fan of Star Wars in the fact of I like it, but I didn't watch it every year. I watch it like once every couple years. Like, I was more into Cobra, Rambo 2, Aliens with Sigourney Weaver, Predator, Predator 2. Like, those are more my cup of tea. I'd probably say I even watch Star Trek movies more than Star Wars. Like, especially the first 4 Star Trek movies, I watched more than Star Wars. And I would say I'm probably more a fan of the Like, if you were to ask me, I'm more of a fan of the first 6 Star Trek movies than I am of the first 3 Star Wars films. And when I say first 3, I mean these 3. But I still like these movies. You know, I think George Lucas, the creativity, what they were able to push with special effects, John Williams' music, Harrison Ford given that charm as Han Solo. You just see why people had their minds blown back in 1977. And this is not a film that every single person loved back then. There were critics that thought the film was just this and that and sucked. So, every film has a fan and a non-fan. I'm not going to know all the backstory because you all know Star Wars. You all know about Star Wars. Like I said, what more can I say? Yeah, the stormtroopers. As much as they can't hit shit, they're certainly hitting a lot of shit here, hitting all these people. This is why if you wanted to make like a movie from the stormtroopers' point of view, that could have been interesting. And John Boyega could have even played that part if done well, but instead they completely shit the bed on that idea. Completely shit the bed on that idea. And you get that Disney clusterfuck. And here we're going to have James Earl Jones voicing Darth Vader, but you have David Prowse in the suit. I think at one point David Prowse was hoping he would do the voice, but his voice just wasn't working. So he just did the suit work. And there is a documentary on David Prowse, and it was an interesting documentary. I recommend it for those who haven't seen it. Even, you know, God kind of seemed like because of George Lucas and others, he kind of got a bad rep in Hollywood that might have been undeserved. C-3PO, you got, I believe, Kenny Baker in that suit. Kenny Baker, he was one of the little people in Time Bandits. He's been in a lot of stuff. Carrie Fisher, rest in peace to her. I remember her, like, honestly, growing up, I remember her more from being Tom Hanks' wife in The Burbs. But, I mean, I knew of her of this, of course, but again, if I go to the video shelf, I would get The Burbs more than Star Wars. I like Star Wars. It's a good movie. Darth Vader intimidating. Like, to be honest, the only Star Wars worth a shit in the past 20 years has been maybe The Mandalorian. And I liked both seasons of that. Got her earmuffs. Shoot. I always thought the design of the Stormtroopers was a cool outfit idea. And of course, I mean, you have the space fantasy based on Flash Gordon. Which I remember Flash Gordon back in the day with Buster Crabbe. Almost said Buster Keaton. That'd be different. With Buster Crabbe, but not vividly. And then because of the success of this spawned so many movies. A gluttony of movies that were rip-offs, something to do with space, Space Raiders, Space this, Space that, Battle Beyond the Stars. And also because of success, it told Hollywood sci-fi could sell if you give them these state-of-the-art special effects. So Star Trek, it was going to be another TV show. Let's make it a movie. So 1979, you had Star Trek the Motion Picture. Alien. That was, I believe, 79 as well. Okay, well, this was going to be a low budget, but hey, give it a Star Wars type of budget where it's going to look good and slick and be taken seriously. I did like countless rip-offs from various countries about it. And there's funny stuff on YouTube, like people, they take Darth Vader and they put like Arlie Ermey's voice for Full Metal Jacket, or they put like Scarface, Tony Montana's voice in it. I'm sure this is a film that, you know, Fox and other companies are like, who knows if this will work out. Because if it's done the wrong way, it could look rather goofy and silly. But it captured a lot of people, a lot of, you know, imagination. Became very successful. I mean, I like the original Star Wars the best. That sort of fairy tale, straightforward feel to it. Then I like Return of the Jedi, my second favorite. Actually released on the day I was born, May 25th, 1983. Love the lightsaber between Luke and Darth Vader, that lightsaber battle. Love the music composed for that scene. Then I would say, then Empire Strikes Back. I know for most people Empire's their favorite. I like Empire, but it's just one of those weird things where there's a beginning, but at the same time it's kind of in progress type of beginning. And then there's not really an ending because it's to be continued type of ending. So it has a beginning, but it doesn't. It has an ending, but it doesn't. So it's in this weird middle phase. And like I said, I do like the film, but because you don't have a big resolution, because you gotta get to the next one, it just, it's not the movie's fault, but it's just how it worked out. And I like the lightsaber battle, but it's just you have to have that to be continued feel to it. Fuck you, C-3PO. Hope you did dust up your ass. R2-D2's like, kiss my ass. I'm going over here and find a hooker with a literal heart of gold. I could just imagine how hot it is in these damn suits. Could just imagine sweating like crazy. Just unbelievably like crazy, sweating your balls off. Literally. In this damn heat. Probably 100 degrees with that suit on. Probably 130 degrees. Yeah, it's a long way off. I think that background with the red was changed for the special edition. It's been so long since I've seen the actual original cut, I don't even remember. But yeah, I mean, after 1983, and yeah, that stupid Star Wars holiday special, from 83 to... I think that's what made the franchise kind of potent, is that there were only 3 movies, and so their legacy kind of grew and grew and grew, because it wasn't seen every day, every week, every year. So it's one of those things where people enjoyed it, people liked it. I mean, you have maybe what, those Ewoks movies, a cartoon or two, but not much. Of course, a lot of toys. And then in a way the prequels kind of started in a way the downfall of Star Wars not being special anymore. Now the Phantom Menace I saw in the theaters. I liked it. I still like it. I actually do think it's the best of the prequels, because I think Darth Maul is cool. I think of the 3, it feels like the movie with the most practical There's CGI, but it feels more practical compared to the other two. Like the first Star Wars, there is an ending to it. You know, there's a where, I mean, you know there's going to be troubles ahead, but you know they win the battle and things seem hunky-dory. Kind of like the ending of this movie. I like Ewan McGregor. I like Liam Neeson. I like the lightsaber battles. The musical score, especially Duel of the Fates, that's a stellar piece of music. So yeah, I do think the Phantom Menace, despite Jar Jar Binks, I mean, he is what he is. I never hated him, but I can understand why people would. I really can. But I never hated him. When I saw it back in the day, I mean, I would say I liked The Matrix more, and I saw that in the theaters in '99, and that was more my cup of tea. But Attack of the Clones, I never thought was good. And then Revenge of the Sith, I don't mind. And that was what, 2000. 5? Just think they were 3 years, 99 to 2002, and then 2005. And then, one thing led to another, George Lucas sold it to Disney. I still don't know why the fuck he sold it. I guess just for the shits and giggles, and then it's like, you sold it, dude, but then you instantly regret it, and then made these shitty sequels. And it's like, man, if you thought the prequels are bad, look at the sequels. Like, hey, let's, you know, all this stuff these people did, let's say it was pointless. Yeah, let's say all this stuff of going through this battle and taking care of the Death Stars and taking care of the bad guys, that was pointless because the bad guys are back. But they're 10 times stronger, 10 times bigger of an army. That'd be like if Nazis came back, but they had an army the size of China. And you'd be like, what the fuck? Oh, this is definitely special edition. Like, we didn't need this shitty CGI creature thing. I say shitty because, in retrospect, like, this sticks out. Like, the model work doesn't stick out like this does. This sticks out as 1999. It wasn't 99. When was it? 97? 1997 CGI. And look at the films of CGI back then. You know, it sticks out more. Like, let's fix something that isn't broken. And you can do that, but give people the... I'll get to that in a minute. Let me stick with this. So you have these the sequels. Yeah, all this battle and war and everything they went through. They won. They beat the bad guys. The stormtroopers, all that. Nope. They just changed their name and they're 10 times of a bigger army. Wow, that felt like nothing was accomplished then. In these three original movies. So nothing was accomplished. There's always war. Yeah, but again, what if the Nazis came back after 10 years, 15 years, and again, the Nazis are back, and they're the size of China? Wow, okay, well, so much for winning World War II. But, and just the way they treat all the characters. Luke Skywalker being a fucking hobo, not with a shotgun, drinking titty milk, dripping on his beard, like he got a cum face, being a party pooper, grumpy bitch. Oh, here's Han Solo, a deadbeat dad, who fucking fucked everything up. His son is an emo fuckface, fucking having temper tantrums, because he didn't get to see the new Twilight movie. Being a twat waffle. And like all this other bullshit. Just, and they thought that was good for the characters. That was good. No, you gotta make them suck to make the new characters look better. Oh yeah, like John Boyega, which, oh cool, he's a stormtrooper. Oh, he's different from them. How is he different? Does he have the Force? Did he get into the feel of the Force, and that's why he was able to break out of the temptation of being a stormtrooper? No. It's just he's a fucking janitor. Garbage man, whatever the hell he was. Then he rides a space horse in the third fucking movie. Rey? She could do anything better than you. Yes, she can. Oh, yeah, yes, she can. She could do anything, everything better than you. Give me a break, man. Fucking perfect. Learns everything that Luke did that took him 3 movies. She learned in 1 goddamn movie. And then what? There's nowhere for her to go. Except to be even more powerful. So she's a Palpatine. I goddamn guarantee they didn't think of Palpatine coming back when they did that Force. And I thought The Force Awakens sucks. I remember ranting on that film when it came out, and people said I was crazy. Just not many people were ranting about The Force Awakens. People were saying it was the best thing since sliced bread. And I'm like, you can enjoy it if you want, but no. No. Sorry, no. This is a bad omen. This is a bad start. I think it's a bad movie with the way it treats his characters. And a lot of the newer characters seem pretty lame. And it's not going to end well. Just wait for it. Wait for it. Wait till the story's told. Yeah, the story's told. Now what? Jesus Christ. Last Jedi, I could go on that for days. And now everything about, like all these franchises, get milked to death. As kind of a guy that I like The Mandalorian Season 1 and 2. I wish those were officially released and I would buy them. I would pick them up. Blu-ray, whatever. I truly enjoyed it. Especially this first season. And the best Star Wars stuff I've seen in the longest time. I mean, honestly, this film and The Mandalorian are neck and neck from my favorite Star Wars stuff. People don't get pissed about that, but I really do. Because The Mandalorian is like a Star Wars universe, but it's my kind of thing with bounty hunters and action and guns, and which is more my cup of tea. Now, Mark Hamill, I know he has his off moments in the film, like, I don't know, pick up some converters, That's a bit whiny. But I think for that innocent farm boy feel to it, I think Mark Hamill accomplishes what needs to be done on it. I do. I didn't, despite some off moments of whiny, like, I don't pick up some converters. But it's easy to see why many people looked up to the character, looked up to him. Again, it's that sort of innocence, guy from nowhere. He knows how to fix a couple things, but then goes on this adventure and becomes, something special, where a lot of people wanted to live vicariously through that. They're in a small town, kind of like The Last Starfighter. You're this normal guy, you live in this little town, you can't escape, you feel like you're trapped, and then somehow, some way, some shape and form, you go on this adventure. And in this case, it's going to rescue the princess, and like for a young boy, that's a fantasy. Go on an adventure, rescue the princess, save the day. You got robots and aliens and special powers, in this case the Force. I think Mark Hamill captured that fairly well. Again, with the solid score by John Williams, the way the designs of the robots like R2-D2, C-3PO, and everybody else. And nowadays with Star Wars, again, they're milking it so much where you had Book of Boba Fett, you had the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, which I saw. I got a paid request to review, what, the first and second episodes? Maybe it's just the first episode. I didn't get any more, so I didn't bother to watch it anymore. And I'm not going to do it on my own volition because what I saw sucked. Kathleen Kennedy is an idiot. Says she doesn't know what the fuck she's doing. Just like a lot of people in Hollywood don't know what the fuck she's doing. It's not sexism. It's realism. There's a lot of stupid people in Hollywood. And they can have a pair of balls or a pair of clits. It don't matter. Stupid is stupid. Stupid doesn't care what your sex organ is. Because we all have a brain. But sadly, some have more. And a lot have less. And in Hollywood, it's a lot more that have less fucking brain cells in that brain of theirs. I know in the seat, Joel Edgerton played Uncle Owen. Joel Edgerton, who was in Warrior, he was in this interesting film called The Gift. Not the same Raimi one, a different one. And this is before he got in that car. I mean, Mark Hamill, for those that don't know, not too long after this, he got in this nasty car accident. He had to have his face changed a bit. That's why if you look at this and then you look at other films, he just doesn't have the same look. And I mean, after this, Mark Hamill, a lot of people know him from the voice of the Joker and Batman the Animated Series. He's done a lot of little bit movie parts here and there. And this is a scene that a lot of people mention. It's not action, it's not a big effects moment, it's just, okay, cool ideas. Two suns and this kind of, you're stuck. You want to see what's out there and you know that adventure awaits. Just gotta take the first step. And the music helps too, by John Williams. The music helps, most definitely. And it did a nice, good-looking shot. I bet. I mean, I was going to say with Star Wars, because it's been milked so much, it doesn't feel special anymore. Like a lot of this stuff, it doesn't feel special anymore. When you're seeing it everywhere you turn, every step you take, it's watching you. You just, oh, another thing, another Star Wars, another Star Trek, another this again. How can I miss you if you don't go away? That's the feeling you don't want. You want people to miss you. You want people to have a fondness for you. And instead it just, and how can you miss you if you don't go away? But for them, you know, it's money to be had. I mean, it says a lot though when I'll concentrate less on movies and more on TV shows. Now you say, yes, streaming is a lot more apparent in today's age, which is true. But they had all these plans for these movies, and they knew that something fucked up. Because there's a lot more movies planned. I mean actual movies. I mean, you could have had an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie. You could have had a Boba Fett movie. But they didn't. Instead, they figured it'd be best to do these streaming things. And I mean, I don't have Disney Plus. I will never get Disney Plus because fuck Disney Plus. I'm assuming their hits. I can only assume it. I don't know why I'm assuming it, but I'm just assuming it. And my body, literally, if you heard that noise, went, yeah, I know. If they were hits, like, no. People are bored. They want something to just watch and binge and blah 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 blah. Not the Jawas, but the horny people. That's not them, but I don't know how excited they get. They always seem like they're just super horny, looking to get laid. They see a blonde, but they don't care it's a guy. See, this I'm going to knock you out, then I'm going to knock you out, then I'm going to knock you up. Then I'm going to knock you out, blondie. Then I'm going to knock you up. How the fuck did R2-D2 even fit in that damn hole in the wall? Well, I guess he didn't fit in there. But on the other side, it looked like there was more rock covering him. Like, how the hell did he fit in there? Like that shot. It's like, doesn't look like you fucking fit in there, but... Alec Guinness as Obi-Wan Kenobi. Ewan McGregor, I mean, did a great job in the prequels portraying Obi-Wan. That's definitely one of the best parts of those prequels, I will say. Again, you know, when I'm sure the people that said yes to this, they're like, okay, what's going to happen next? And I think he'll never say this, but I think Mark Hamill, I guarantee you he felt a bit burned about probably, you know, he didn't, the billions of dollars this film made, and, you know, not getting any part of the merchandise, which would have made him a fucking 100 millionaire. No piece of that pie. You have to be the star of one of the most successful trilogies of all time, playing one of the most iconic characters of all time, and you look at it like, what did Mark Hamill really get to do in the 80s? What did he get the star in? Like Harrison Ford worked out for him because then he got Indiana Jones, and then you have films like Witness, and then in the 90s you got The Fugitive. It worked out for Harrison Ford, but I'm sure Mark Hamill, he'll never admit this, but I guarantee you there's a bit of jealousy in that. Now maybe nowadays it's fine because, you know, he got to be the voice of Joker and, you know, do all these other films, but it's like, you can't tell me there wasn't a moment he didn't look in the mirror and go, I'm the star of the most successful, at the time, most successful trilogy of all time, and I still don't have that kind of money, and I'm doing fucking films like Slipstream, which I don't think is that great of a movie, to be honest. Because y'all remember Slipstream, right? From 1989? God, nice performance by Bill Paxton, but I mean... Like, okay, after Star Wars, he did Corvette Summer, and I don't think that really did anything. 1980, Empire Strikes Back, The Big Red One, which is a war film, although it sounds like a porno. But The Big Red One was a war film. Well, I guess Corvette Summer might have made some money, to be fair. 15 million in the US, 36 million worldwide, $9 million budget. I mean, it wasn't a gargantuan hit. Big Red One didn't do much of anything. The World War II movie with Lee Marvin. And then after Return of the Jedi in 83, he didn't work until 89. Now, I don't know, was he doing TV? He did an episode of The Amazing Stories and an episode of Alfred Hitchcock Presents. So I don't know, of those 6 years, like maybe he did make money and he's like, I'm going to leave for 6 years? That would be interesting what happened between 1983 to 1989 for him to disappear 84, 85, 86, 87, 88. I mean, that's a lot of fucking years, man. What would have been your heyday? And then in Slipstream, Midnight Ride, The Diver, Time Runner, which is direct-to-video. He had a cameo in Stephen King's Sleepwalkers. You know, films like Watchers Reborn. And it's like, what the fuck happened, man? What the fuck happened? Just crazy. Just fucking crazy, like. I don't know. And that's always the thing when you look back on this, like, how much did George Lucas really plan ahead with this trilogy of his? Because, okay, Obi-Wan says, oh, he murdered your father. But then he tries to go, oh, well, he murdered your old self of your father. Same with, like, Empire Strikes Back. Carrie Fisher kisses Mark Hamill, but then the third one, they're brother and sister. I don't think they were as planned ahead as George Lucas wants to make it out to be. I think maybe he had a plan, but I don't even know if he planned about Vader being Luke's dad until he got The Empire Strikes Back. So, I don't know. And you watch this scene, doesn't even make any fucking sense, because the way Leia talks is, you fought with my father in the Clone Wars, you fought beside him. Shouldn't Leia also be saying, oh, by the way, you also, when I was a kid, you rescued me from these assholes that tried to pull a Home Alone on me, capturing me, and blah, 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 blah. Isn't that what happened to Obi-Wan Kenobi, the TV show? Obi-Wan is saving, and, well, Leia, as a kid, pretty much saving herself, and Obi-Wan's along for the ride. You're not going to bring any of that up? No, instead she says, oh, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you fought with my father alongside. I'm like, Obi-Wan, you remember me? Remember when I was a kid? We went on those adventures together? You remember that? And there's that one black chick who was a villain, but not a villain, but she was a villain, but not a villain. You remember that? They don't fucking care. It's like, have the people making this new shit actually sat and watched these fucking movies? Or are they just basing it on memory? Hazy memory? God damn. Fucking hell, man. Sometimes I just wonder with some of this shit. And some of these fucking people, man, that make this shit. Like, what are they doing? The fuck are they doing? You know, that's what I'm like, the fuck are they doing? I don't know what they're doing. I don't know. I don't know. If you know, let me know. Because I don't know. Da 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 da. I don't know. Sorry. But goddamn, man, sometimes you just go, what the fuck is going on? Peter Cushing, rest in peace. Peter Cushing, of course, a staple of Hammer horror. And I didn't grow with Hammer horror, to be fair. This was the first thing I ever saw him in. I can admit that. The very first thing I saw him in was this. But it wasn't until later where I found out, oh yeah, he did all these other things. He did a lot more. He did a lot more. Lucas originally offered the role to Christopher Lee, but he declined. But Christopher Lee regrets that. That's why he was in Attack of the Clones. He originally had Cushing role for Obi-Wan Kenobi, but believed that his lean features would be better employed in the role of Tarkin instead. Huh. And then showing a bit of intimidation. All Vader has to do that, and then you can leave us the fuck alone. So Peter Cushing, he passed away in 1994, so he was able to live through the success of Star Wars. And yeah, he was still making movies. I mean, he was in Shockwaves, well, the same year. Film called A Touch of the Sun in 1979. House of Law and Shadows, 1983. He had a weird cameo in Top Secret. Bigelow's Adventures in Time. Okay, I remember him. I forgot that was his last film role. Yeah, the Jawas. They had a bad party. It's a mass suicide. They drink the Kool-Aid. Don't go there, Lord. You're going to get butt fucked. They're going to fuck you in the ass with your blonde hair. Don't do it. And this is a bit of, again, it shows a bit of the seriousness of the situation. It's not all fun and games. It's really a kid's film. There's dire circumstances. You look at the remains of his aunt and uncle. It's pretty brutal. Coming up here. It's pretty damn brutal. Charred skeletons. I mean, that's pretty fucking brutal. And it's a hard thing, like, how are you going to react? Do you scream? Do you cry? Do you, you know. I thought Mark Hamill, for what he had to do, it was subtle enough, but it worked. At least to me it worked. Oh, is this the torture? That's this, like, torture machine? Surprised they haven't brought... Well, actually, no. Maybe they did. Have you seen the other Star Wars stuff? Did they bring this thing back and show how this torture thing works? I wouldn't be surprised. It's nostalgia. Nostalgia. You remember that? You know. You fucking dildo. That's what Darth Vader looks like, a big black dildo. So he can go fuck himself. Even that right there is like, hey, you see these, bodies, just fucking burn them. But that smells good, that burning flesh. Take a deep breath, Luke. The burning flesh. Oh, I guess Jawas have flesh, I would assume. I mean, I guess really we haven't seen what's under the hood of a Jawa, have we? Yeah, I would assume. Become a Jedi like my father. Well, if you're a Rey, it would take you like 2 hours. Mos Eisley, spaceport. Scum and villainy. I mean, it would have been cool to see Peter Cushing as Obi-Wan. Oh, this is special edition stuff, you could tell. Crap CG. It just sticks out like a sore thumb. And the stupid comedy thing here. It sticks out like a sore thumb. It doesn't... It looks dated. Like, that's the stuff that dates this, is the stuff from 1997, not the stuff from 1977. Like, the stuff from... Like, this stupid fucking thing. Who gives a shit about this fucking thing with the Jawas? That really... who gave a fuck? Who said, that's my favorite scene in the movie? I'm glad they put that in. Now, here's this shitty PlayStation 2 dinosaur coming by. But you have a real robot and it's not dated. Like, you know, look like a robot. Such a stupid fucking... Well, I guess I'll get in the special edition now. Fuck the special editions. I hate these special editions. They're fucking stupid. It was a stupid idea. It was a bit marketing ploy. I mean, Lucas, you can say whatever you want, but it was a bit marketing ploy as well. How to get people back in the theaters. Just re-release the Star Wars would be enough, but no. There's all these new effects and new scenes and blah 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 blah. Look at Star Wars like you've never seen it before. Okay, maybe people would be curious about it, and maybe even some would not mind it. But when you go, actually it's going to replace it, and your old stuff that you liked and grew up with is going to disappear, that's when people get pissed off. I mean, George Lucas, people get mad at me when I say this. George Lucas had his ego up his ass. He really did. And people, well, no, I think Disney fucked up. I also think George Lucas fucked up. I think they both fucked up. Not giving either one the pass. George Lucas, what people forget, is that he said those original versions he wants to burn. He wants it to disappear, so the only version you'll see is these new versions. What was that? The People versus George Lucas? You watch that, you talk about how he burned the negative or something? I don't know what it was. I can't remember the exact terms. And how do you look at that and go, that's such bullshit? It's his film. No, it's not just his film. It's the actors as well. It's the makeup effects. It's John Williams who did the score. It's the people who built the set. It's the person who voiced Darth Vader. It's everybody that made that film work. Not just you, Georgie. And it's the fans that watched it and bought your shit and bought your toys and bought your video games and bought your product that made you so fucking rich. And go, yeah, you know that stuff, those 3 movies that made me rich that you liked? Fuck you, you can't have it anymore. And then people go, well, it's always be there. The originals will always be there. Yeah, if you did it online unofficially, which is, you know, this guy was Butt-Chin, Baboon Butt-Chin, and this guy looking like one of the Michael Bay Ninja Turtles. Super chub motherfucker. A face a mother would hate. Inbred motherfucker. He looks like if Sloth from the Goonies had an inbred son. And Obi-Wan's a badass. Cuts his fucking arm off. Even show blood there. Good. That's Obi-Wan being a badass. How come he doesn't do that on that Obi-Wan show? Doesn't do any of that shit. Some fucking reason. Oh, it is, you know. For the most part, this dude's shit sucks for Star Wars. That's one reason I like The Mandalorian. Kathleen Kennedy seemed like she was out of it, and Jon Favreau had more control of it. Especially the first season. But, yeah, these special editions just garbage, and Idea, if you liked it, that's fine, but give people the option. What's wrong with having an option? What's wrong with having, okay, here's a Blu-ray set, here's the special editions, here's the original versions, or you put them both on the set, so you have a choice. You want to know why? Because they know more people are going to choose the original than the special edition, and that hurts George Lucas's ego. Now, and then they said, well, we can't do it because Star Wars, the first one's owned by Fox. But they bought Fox, so what the fuck is the big deal now that they can't release these? You tell me that they wouldn't, if you did a 4K, since 4K is a big thing nowadays, if you did a 4K of these original versions of Star Wars, you tell me no one would buy it? It'd be the highest grossing 4K yet, easily. Hands down. But, I mean, nowadays, you have the despecialized version, which, again, I don't have. I had DVD-R, like, someone had sent me, like, a printed DVD-R with the movies, but they're lost. They were lost years ago during the move. So, I don't have the ones with the cases and special features. Again, maybe one day I'll find them, pick them up, I don't know. Unofficially. But the fact I have to fucking do that is ridiculous. So, give people the option. Don't tell people to go fuck themselves and go, well, sorry, it's this or the highway. Fuck you and your Hershey Highway. And George Lucas is part of the blame. He's the main blame for that. Again, I don't know what the deal is now that George Lucas sold it. Is that one of his things when he... I will sell this to you, but one of the conditions, you cannot release these films. Which, if that's the case, then George Lucas is a fucking prick. You can apologize for all you want, but it is. It's prickish. Of course, I've taught through Han Solo being introduced, Harrison, who worked on American Graffiti. But that's a George Lucas film I always forget that he did. And I remember not minding American Graffiti. And is this the one where Greedo shoots first? I like the design of Greedo. Thought it was a cool design. This kind of lizard type of alien thing. And look, that's less dated than the crap 1997 CG special edition stuff. Yeah. So stupid, man. Just George Lucas had a problem. I don't like the Han Solo shoots first. That's mean. He's a fucking smuggler. He's not seen patty cake. Give a dog a bone. Again, fucking stupid to say. It looks funky. It looks weird. It looks off. It looks fucking stupid. Looks fucking dumb. But yeah, Harrison Ford, I mean, was a huge actor after this, and then Raiders of the Lost Ark. Now he worked with Lucas on American Graffiti. Lucas asked Harrison Ford to assist in the auditions by reading lines with other actors. He was eventually won over by Harrison Ford's portrayal and cast him instead. And apparently there's a lot of people up for it. Kurt Russell, which there is footage of Kurt Russell auditioning for it. Supposedly Nick Nolte. I guess Sylvester Stallone? Which is interesting. Bill Murray, Christopher Walken, Burt Reynolds, Jack Nicholson, James Caan, Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Steve Martin, Chevy Chase, or Perry Teen. Harrison Ford was the right choice for it. William Catt, the greatest American hero, star of the film House, good 80s horror film. He was also in the original Terry. He was up for Luke Skywalker. Amy Irving, Terry Nunn, Cindy Williams, Taryn Allen, Jodie Foster were up for Princess Leia. Here's that stupid Jabba the Hutt scene. Did we really need a Jabba the Hutt scene in this? And he looks garbage. Like, you look at Return of the Jedi, and you look at the way Jabba looks in that. And then this looks like cheese grater garbage. Just fucking ridiculously cheapo Sci-Fi Channel shit now. This does. It looks like Sci-Fi Channel shit in today's age. That's what I mean. Like, this is what George Lucas didn't understand. He's so fucking stupid. Is that this shit dates more than practical effects. It does. It dates more. Because the practical, it's real. It's in camera. You cannot get more real than real. Digital is fakery that every couple months there's a change. And that Jabba the Hutt scene didn't do anything. It didn't add anything to it. Just a marketing to get people to watch it in the theaters in 1997, and it worked. I didn't see it in the theaters, but I know people who did, and it made money. Millennium Falcon, loved the design of the ship. Great design of it. Alec Guinness, who played Obi-Wan, this is interesting. He believed that the film would be successful. He negotiated a deal for 2.25% of the 1/5 gross royalties paid to Lucas. And that, yeah, that must have made him a shitload of money. Peter Mayhew as Chewbacca, the Wookiee. Yeah, of course, in Wikipedia, there's a lot of info about the film. It's like a whole book about the film. As our character's now being chased by the Empire. And of course, after this, it'd be lampooned in films like Spaceballs by Mel Brooks, among others. Of course, that's obviously just someone going shaking the set to make it look like all that. I'm assuming, I mean, and the Death Star. Can you imagine just how long it took to build that fucking Death Star, let alone they built 2 of them, let alone they built a 10 times bigger Death Star and fucking Force Awakens. How much fucking money that took. Well, not even money, just, you know, time. I mean, look how long it takes someone to fix the fucking road on the highway. There's like 5 people, supervisors, staring at one guy doing the work. That's not against anyone who's a road construction, because you're probably the one guy that has to do all the work, while the other people are the 5 supervisors supervising. the whole time. Looking down. Yep, looking good. Yep, they're looking good too. You're probably the one guy's like getting your hands dirty. If that's how long it takes for a fucking roll, how do you think how long it takes to do a fucking planet-sized, you know, weapon? And that's going to be Terry Fisher's planet. Sure. And you understand why she says it. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, they're bad guys. They're open to, if they're open to killing and murder, I think they're open to lying as well. But yeah, Peter Cushing greatly missed. I was talking about him. I didn't grow up with Hammer horror films, but I've seen some since, along with other ones. There's the explosion. The Ring of Fire. Horror Express is a really good one with Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee. That's a really good one. Another good one is Horror of Dracula, the first of that Hammer horror vampire stuff. At least with Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. I mean, think about what they've done to these characters. Like, you look at the Disney sequels, you look at Obi-Wan and stuff. They've ruined every character. They ruined, like, Luke Skywalker became a bum, loser, who failed. Han Solo became a deadbeat dad who got stabbed and thrown into the garbage, literally. Obi-Wan became an old fogey who got shown up by a goddamn little girl, Carrie Fisher's, Princess Leia. They all failed because the damn Emperor was still alive. The Empire was still alive, and 10 times stronger, faster, bigger, called the New Order. Not the New World Order with Hulk Hogan, but the New Order. No. The First Order. I think it's the First Order. What the fuck order it is. Rather have the order of McDonald's, for fuck's sake. But it's just this fucking bullshit, man. Fucking bullshit. Fucking bullshit. Fucking bullshit. Sorry, losing my mind thinking about that shit. Fucking bullshit. Fuck it. Oh, remember this scene? We gotta remind people later in the other fucking Star Wars Disney shit. I like Harrison Ford. The way he plays Han Solo here is kind of like what you would see Nathan Fillion in Firefly. That kind of demeanor. He means well, but he's got a sense of humor to it all. And see, by the end of this film, Luke doesn't know every fucking thing. There's room for him to learn. That's how you do progress. That's like having a Rocky film without the fucking training montage. It just doesn't quite work. Like, let's have Rocky film. Like, imagine Rocky 4 if you took out all the training montages. Okay, it just wouldn't work, would it? So Rocky 3. Or really any of the Rocky films. Now, I don't know why, this was always one of my favorite scenes not here, but coming up, where they come across and they feel all this rubble as wait, it used to be there. What do you mean it used to be there? And let me just hear this a bit. I like the way the dialogue, the music, I think the music helps, and just you see it in the distance, and it's like this oh shit realization of what it is. Yeah, you see that little thing in the distance. That's no moon. Space station. Yeah, for some reason that always, even as a kid, it's like that oh shit moment where you see that little dot way back, and we know what it is, but they don't know what it is, and then that realization of oh shit, you know, that's what it is. There's something about that. I don't know why I like that so much, but it's always struck with me ever since I was a kid. So it says here, Lucas had the idea after he completed directing his first full-length film, THS 1138. He wanted to adapt the Flash Gordon comics and serials. He pushed towards buying the Flash Gordon rights, but they were already tied up with Dino De Laurentiis. And the inspirations for those works of Edgar Rice Burroughs, author of Tarzan, and especially his John Carter Mars series of books. George was very depressed because he had just come back and they would not sell him Flash Gordon, and he says, well, I'll just invent my own. He secured a 2-film development deal with United Artists. The 2 films were American Graffiti and a space opera titled The Star Wars. He chose to make Star Wars more optimistic because he thought the bleak tone of THS 1138 led to its poor reception. United Artists passed the American Graffiti, so Universal Pictures got it. United Artists declined on the budget of Star Wars. They presented the treatment to Universal Pictures. They agreed it could be a very commercial venture, but they had doubts of George Lucas being able to direct it. Francis Ford Coppola brought the project to a division of Paramount Pictures because Francis Ford Coppola was a buddy of his. A division of Paramount Pictures, he ran with fellow directors Peter Bogdanovich and William Friedkin, and Friedkin questioned Lucas's ability to direct the film, and he, along with Bogdanovich, declined to back it. Yeah, I'm sure they regret that. Fantasy much closer to the Brothers Grimm than it is 2001. Walt Disney Productions turned it down, ironically enough. Alan Ladd Jr., head of 20th Century Fox. Success of American Graffiti had a bit more leverage to that. Pretty much a lot more to it than that. In 1973, he was writing it. By 1974, he expanded the treatment into a rough draft screenplay. He had a character named Anakin Starkiller. He changed Starkiller to an adolescent boy, and he shifted the general into a supporting role as a member of the family of dwarves. He envisioned Han Solo as a large green skinned monster with gills. He based Chewbacca on his dog Indiana. 1975, a second draft. It was called Adventures of the Star Killer, Episode 1, The Star Wars. Anakin became Luke's father, a wise Jedi Knight. The Force was also introduced. Luke had several brothers, as well as his father, who appears in a minor role at the end of the film. The script became more of a fairy tale quest as opposed to the action adventure of the previous versions. It ended with another test crawl. The second draft was over 200 pages long and led him to split up the story into multiple films spanning over multiple trilogies. He says he wrote a rough draft of about 250 to 300 pages long, which contained the outline for the entire original Star Wars trilogy. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff on Wikipedia. I mean, you just read the Wikipedia stuff. Don't talk shit about him or you get hit. He's an old guy, he's an old fuck, foldy fuck. Keep talking like that, but Obi-Wan gonna cut you, fool. I'm gonna cut you, fool. You wanna go to school with me, motherfucker? R2-D2 is two dicks. That's what the D stands for. You're gonna stick them both up your pie hole. Oh no. The princess is a lot of money and a lot of poontang. Then I'll fuck your shit up. Yeah, that gets him. Yeah, that definitely gets him thinking all that money, 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 money. Cue the $1 Million Man theme. Buy that for a price. Somebody's gonna pay. Yeah, very helpful advice. Nothing bad will happen because of that. I forget which shot it was, where or did they fix it in this? The The stormtrooper that bumped his head. I forget which shot that was. Someone made like a documentary trying to find that guy, but I still don't know how the hell you could actually find that guy. Because anybody could take credit for it because, you know. Well, I guess, I mean, to be fair, I should... It's on YouTube. I should watch it first. I forget what it's called. What is that called? Guy bumped head. Star Wars. I said, forget what. It's on. Let me double check real quick. Sorry, guys. I mean, it shows that Star Wars. I mean, they've looked at every damn thing. I wonder if down there that's one of those things where they had like a mirror or something make it look like the hallway was a lot longer than it really was. There you go. Got him. Going fucking haywire with all this. Yeah, The Empire Strikes Door. I think that's what it's called on YouTube. The Empire Strikes Door. I'm like, wow. That just shows how popular Star Wars is, that anything about it, I mean, they will be made into a documentary or any type of nook and cranny being looked into about that film. I'm curious, did they do this? Great moment for Han Solo. Don't like conversations. Well, there was... I'm not sure they did it for Star Wars, where... At times they do this stuff where they take a film and then like every 30 seconds someone remakes the scene, but they link it all together. I think they did it for RoboCop. They did it for a number of other movies. I know there's also that scene where they remake the battle between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader. It's called SC-38 Reimagined. I mean, it's a cool bit of business. It's fun to watch. I mean, in the time and the way that film is, I don't know if it would work for that, but it's fun to watch on its own. Been a fan of fight scenes. Let's see. Yeah, sorry, I'm not saying much. I'm just kind of enjoying the scene, all the action and stuff. But I mean, it shows that the princess is not at the end. Oh, there's no strong females. Well, guess what? She just took the gun, she fired, she jumped in, but then make more of a big deal about it. This is what we need to do to survive. Here you go. Bing, bang, boom. Move along with it. Don't fucking go on a pedestal and preach it. And sorry I kind of stopped talking because I'm trying to figure out what to say about this stuff. Yeah, I apologize for that. Because I talked about the prequels, I talked about Disney, I talked about the special editions. People, I mean, they already know what makes this film work if they do like it. You know, actually, I would be curious about something. Bear with me on this as this plays out with this weird creature thing. Just bear with me on this. It makes me wonder, what's the point of the creature being in this? Is it just a growth that happened because of the way it is in there, or is there some other purpose for it being in there? Or just, what, you know, one of those, like, a bud, a random, well, it's not a bud, but a random thing that just was able to get in there and hide amongst all this garbage and stuff? And if so, how did it get in there? I mean, it's a Death Star. Like, how did a Death Star, all made of metal and all this, was that created because of all this waste and stuff? Like, just created this bubbly mass of creature to be showcased into this. It let him go because I knew the thing's about ready to be crushed, so I need to get the fuck out of there. I was curious, if you wonder what I was doing, to look at 1-star reviews of Star Wars A New Hope on IMDb. And I'm like, because I was curious, like, how many. There's 63 1-star reviews on IMDb. 63. We have... I liked this movie when it first came out. As a teenager, I saw it about 7 or 8 times. About 20 years went by before I saw it again on cable. How time dulls the memory. Star Wars now has an odd, nauseating effect on me. The 70s haircuts, laughable costumes. What's laughable about the costumes? Cheesy dialogue, faked visual effects. What do you mean by... If you're talking about the 1997 stuff, I get it, but faked visual effects? Corny music. John Williams' music is corny? Uninteresting soap opera plot. I sat there before the flickering screen, enveloped in Star Wars suffocating stupidity, wondering how in the hell I could ever like this thing. I finally came to my senses, turned the channel after hearing John Williams' irritating Darth Vader theme for the 600th time in the first 40 minutes. Why George Lucas decided we need to hear this high-volume musical cue every time we see Darth Vader on screen is beyond me, because it's his theme. Maybe he just thinks his audience is extremely stupid and is incapable of remembering that Darth Vader is supposed to be evil. I don't know. Because it's good music. It would be easy to dismiss the film as nothing but fluff to entertain kids, but fortunately for many people, this thing has become their religion. Folks, get a life before it's too late. It's just a movie. No shit, it's just a movie. I'm watching it. Another one. I don't know what's so great about this film that bores. So it's released in the 70s. That time there must have been better films. As the stupid villain Darth Vader that irritates with his voice. What's irritating about his voice? If he is so powerful that he can kill with his mind, why doesn't he just kill off the heroes in that way, then wasting time? Well, he has to be close enough. The only person he gets close to in Star Wars is Obi-Wan, and he has the Force as well. This movie is very childish, full of boring characters that annoy. There is a fight scene where Harrison Ford is shooting at hundreds of robots with laser guns. He's not... What the fuck scene is that? Well, number one, in the special edition, it was only like... Well, it was special. In the original version, it was only like 5 of them. And that's when he turns the corner, oh shit, and then he immediately goes back and runs away after like less than 5 seconds, dude. I worked in cinema for over 2 years and witnessed the release of Revenge of the Sith. I am shocked that all these hundreds of people like this garbage. What films do you like, dude? I mean, hey, we all have different opinions, so I shouldn't be that harsh on the guy. I'm just curious what he... Yeah, just curiosity. Top rated. So what films does this person love? That said, I don't know what's great about this film, it bores. A film this year called Beast that he gives a 10. Again, I'm just curious about this. Same with this other guy. I mean, I know I'm going off tangent, but bear with me. I'm just curious about this. Hopefully this will be interesting to someone. Oh, the one guy, the first one I read, the one that said the most overrated movie of all time. Full Steel Life Before It's Too Late is just a movie. He says the first Scream is probably the most harmful and irresponsible movie ever. Pleasantville, yawn or yuck? I actually think that's a decent movie. Oh, that's funny. He doesn't have many reviews. And then this other guy. So you have those 5 guys there. I think coming up is this scene here where the guy was complaining. Oh, yeah. When he runs towards it. And okay, it was maybe more than 5 in the original, but it wasn't that many. He's like, oh shit. Like, that's the thing you had to bug up your ass about, really? So the films he gives a 10 out of 10 are a lot of Bollywood movies. So the guy's a big fan of Bollywood movies. Okay. Teach their own. Hey, to be fair, I mean, he gave a 10 out of 10 on Kiss of the Dragon and Bull in the Head with John Woo and Seven. I enjoy those films. Police Story. Hey, I enjoy those films as well. But I don't think this movie's like, as awful as you make it sound, dude. But hey, it is what it is. I don't think Twin Dragons is a 10 out of 10, dude. Or, of course, Dave Parasite a 10 out of 10. Well, hey, Dave Alien's a 10 out of 10, so at least that's something. But yeah, I mean, this whole thing like speaks for itself. That great sense of adventure, swinging around like it was Tarzan, Edgar Rice Burroughs. That's a curious thing. Like any film that you absolutely love, go down to B and look for the 1-star reviews, 2-star, 3-star reviews. You might find some funny, different points of view. Highly overrated, childish crap. Good movie to see if you're 12 or less. The Death of American Cinema. For immature minds only. Kitty movie with decent effects. Almost 40 years later, this movie's lame and boring. So boring I don't remember what happened. It was like someone was driving me through a pit of sand for 5 hours. This movie is really convincing for children. This is a silly, hugely overrated, egotistical, boring, contrived, joyless, cheap, and morally bankrupt piece of garbage. Morally bankrupt? Star Wars is badly made, particularly the special effects. Jesus Christ. Again, everyone has a unique opinion, I guess. Again, you look at any movie, you'll find stuff like that. And this thing, you look at Obi-Wan and Vader, I mean, they're much older. Vader is a bit more broken down because of his changes his body. Obi-Wan is much older. They're not going, you know, it makes sense to do it like this type of fight scene. As stormtroopers, they want to have a front row ticket to see the fight. Fight, fight, fight. But no, I don't think the film is boring. I don't think the effects are weak. Especially for 1977. Again, if you're talking about the 97 stuff, I can understand, but and you know, Obi-Wan became one with the Force. Now, technically, Darth Vader probably could push that damn door open, like, or his lightsaber cut a hole through it. But that's the thing, when they do more and more of this stuff, they just add more and more abilities to make it more exciting in their eyes. But then you go, well, wait a minute, if he could do that here, why couldn't he do this before? Why could he not do that before? And then you just create more questions because of that. I would say this coming up would be one of my favorite scenes in terms of action, when they get into their cubicles with the guns and fire on the the TIE fighters. I always thought that was a cool scene, cool sequence. I mean, I guess compared to all the stuff that happens nowadays with movies, where entire fucking countries blow up, I guess this will seem mundane in comparison, but you know, what can you do? I can understand in the fact that, there are popular films I find overrated. I think The Exorcist is overrated. I much prefer the third film. I think Vertigo with Hitchcock is overrated. I much prefer Rear Window, Rope, The Birds, even Psycho over Vertigo. Not a fan of Vertigo. Not a fan of The Exorcist. Again, I prefer the third film. I know how that goes. So I get mad, but then I'm like, I'm in the same boat as well. So hey, door swings both ways. What can I tell you? It's like the World War II, when you're in those little cockpits and you, whether the big, I'm trying to remember what kind of B-52 bomber, was that it? I can't remember the exact name of the planes. They have these little cockpits between one underneath, and you have a gun that you can fire. It's where that one girl was in that shitty movie Shadow in the Cloud. Got him. Very nice. We're getting the 28 minutes left of the film, man. Pretty much we have the end credits, which is, I always think, is about 5 minutes, give or take. You have them landing, the setup for the trench run, and then the trench run, which they just then try to redo in stupid fucking dumbass Force Awakens. Now I'm looking up to see if there's any interesting trivia, perhaps, on IMDb. Just so that I'm not just sitting here being silent. George Lucas's decision to accept a lower salary on the movie in exchange for full merchandising rights was considered a fool's gamble, but it definitely paid off. Lightsaber sound effect is a combo of the hum of an idling 35mm projector and the feedback generated by passing a stripped microphone cable by a TV. The first movie to make over $300 million domestic box office. It was the first movie to cross 500 million worldwide in its initial release. After visiting the set of Close Encounters, which came out the same year, George Lucas was sure Close Encounters would outperform. Spielberg disagreed, felt Lucas' Star Wars would be the bigger hit. Lucas proposed a pact, trading 2.5% of the profit on each other's movies. Spielberg accepted the deal, and he still receives 2.5% of the profits from this movie, as Lucas receives the same from the Close Encounters. Huh. Dennis Lawson, who played Wedge, is the uncle of Ewan McGregor. So yes, Wedge Antilles. One of the fighters at the finale here is the uncle of Ewan McGregor. Oh yeah, the plans for the Death Star that we had to make an entire fucking movie about for some reason because they thought that was an interesting story. Like, no, this is all you need. We got the plans. This is how we got the plans. That's all you need. They got the plans. Because it wasn't a heist like Ocean's 11 where it's this clever, creative heist of doing this to do that. No, it was just... it wasn't this exciting action. It just... all we needed the plans. Just the plans. But at the end of the day, you realize the movie was fucking pointless. It wasn't needed. Rogue One. How many people out there fucking rewatch Rogue One? That's a movie I completely forgot existed. Same with Solo, a Star Wars story. I'm serious. Those are films I completely forgot existed. I'm not even making a joke. What year did Rogue One come out? I gotta look that up. What year? Even Solo Star Wars story, when the fuck... I'm not even joking. People don't think I'm joking. Well, no one's watching this, so I'll say, you don't think I'm joking, but I'm not joking. Seriously, who the fuck, when the fuck did that come out? 2016? 2016, Jesus. That long ago? Wow. 2016. I mean, I guess they're making that TV show based on the one guy who dies in that movie. Because for some reason they thought he needed a TV show. Okay. Then they had that Solo, a Star Wars story, which they had the two directors, and they fired him. Then they had Ron Howard, and it became some patch job and just lame film. Fuck you want me to do, kid? Good luck. Don't die. No, he doesn't say that, but... Of course, he'll come back in the later with the, the final clutch at the end of the movie, Han Solo. Yeah, I know Lucas says he scripted all this out, but it's, part of me is hard to believe that he scripted out that Leia would be fucking Luke's sister. Now this was not in a theatrical cut. I don't think this whole bit here talking with these guys. I don't. None of this was in it. I don't think it was. And listen, I know there's another scene where I think those two talked on Tatooine before all this happened, like near the beginning of the film. But that wasn't put into the special edition. I'm trying to remember what other deleted scenes there are. Now, I say before, I mean, I'm not even a guy that Star Wars, you might get mad. If I did a top 100 favorite films of all time, would Star Wars be on the list? No. Like I said, I grew up with films like Hard Target. I mean, I grew up with the film scene as a kid, but I would watch more action and horror. Aliens. I would say Aliens with Sigourney Weaver and Michael Biehn. That's my Star Wars. That's more my Star Wars. And then Rambo First Blood Part 2, Commando, Hard Target, Die Hard, The Blob from 1988. Even, you know, Dawn of the Dead, George Romero's film. John Carpenter's The Thing. The original Alien. They're more what I seek out. But I still think this is a good film because I think the cast worked for what roles they were made to fit. Again, I don't like the special edition CGI shit. I wish it was the actual model work because I do think those look better. I do. I think this does have a fun adventure quality to it, whether it be escape throughout the Death Star, the TIE fighters shooting with those cannons and the Millennium Falcon, this trench run here. Yeah, I think that's Wedge there. Well, I mean, I guess you can't see it, so it's kind of like, who? He's one of the few that survives this whole trench run, Wedge. I know they made, I mean, like I said, they made a lot of toys. There was the Kenner toys, which there was such a, like, they were not going to get out on Christmas, so you could, like, somehow you could get it, and then it's, we'll get to you later, but this shows that you will get them eventually. So you get, like, an empty box, and it's like, eventually you don't get these. But a lot of people got it. And if you have them, they're worth a lot of money. And of course, there's various video games. I mean, for Atari, Arcade, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, pretty much every platform there's a Star Wars game. Super Star Wars, Super, you know, that trilogy of games on Super Nintendo, all sorts of stuff. Porkins. Porky Pig. If he was a human, he died. He's used the Force, motherfucker. Use the Force. God damn it. I mean, this whole thing is supposed to be like a World War II, like when you go into battle and you're trying to just bomb the place, drop the bombs, all you're doing with lasers, battling pretty much the Nazis. Can't see him. Do a Top Gun maneuver. Do a backflip. Need to do a Top Gun maneuver. Any positives I can say about the special edition? Just people like, come on, dude, there's gotta be something. Number one, let me think. I will say, that's tough. How about this? Number one, the explosion of the Death Star, I don't mind the Ring of Fire type of effect. Gives a nice exclamation point. I would say some of these X-Wing scenes are maybe the less egregious of the changes. But I would just prefer having the choice to see the original and then see this. But I would say these scenes are less egregious when it comes to those effects. But yeah, I just like to see the. It's been so long since I've seen those originals. But I mean, the CGI animals and bits of comedy throw in, and Jabba the Hutt and all that stuff. Like, come on, man. I don't know, anytime I see this, I always think of the line, "Stay on target, stay on target." Ever since I was a kid, that line, the line reading got stuck in my head. Stay on target. They stopped. And that's why they stopped, because someone's going to have a gangbang. Yep, there you go. Yeah, they're all dying. They're all getting fucked up. Evacuate a moment of victory? The fuck is wrong with you? And even the Disney Star Wars films, I mean, like The Force Awakens, like, didn't Leia just do the same fucking thing, stand around looking at monitors like this for another damn trench run? Like, all these years later, that was the best they'd come up with. Do the same thing. That makes a lot of sense. But hey, I mean, there's people that would give that movie a 10 out of 10 and this movie a 2 out of 10 or 1 out of 10. You know, every person has a different, unique point of view. Can none of these guys, like, send a few ships and destroy these motherfuckers? They're chasing our ass? Like, okay, why didn't someone go down and get right behind Darth Vader and shoot him in the ass? Like, right now. Get behind, pew, 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 pew. Like, why not do that? And they're killing everybody. And he doesn't quite get it. Can you imagine if he did? It'd be, wow, I guess Luke Skywalker, you know, he didn't have to use the Force. He's able to succeed. Yeah, I think the only two left is Luke and Wedge. After this guy. This guy had an orgasm after he crashed. Or before he crashed. Yeah, I think the only two left is Luke and Wedge. And again, Wedge is the uncle of Ewan McGregor. I guess they have no more ships to send. Yeah. Yep, those only... Oh, nope, the third guy. I forget, Luke's buddy with the mustache. Luke's bud with the mustache. Almost forgot about him. I think he gets killed. And it's just Luke and Wedge after that. I could just imagine being in 1977, not growing up with any of this type of movies, and you're seeing this for the first time. You're like, what the hell? And just getting your mind blown by this type of stuff. And obviously, I wasn't even born yet, but you see this type of stuff, you go, man, this must be just mind-blowingly crazy with what they were able to accomplish, with the budget they had, with the technology they had at the time. And that's nothing to sneeze at. But I still like the characters. I think the story works in a simple fairy tale basis, good and evil quality. There's Luke's buddy. Only one left. Use the Force, Luke. Okay, Obi-Wan, get those ships off my ass. And I will use the Force. Use the Force all day, but if they shoot me in the ass, it's not going to matter squat. As I said, I saw these films on VHS back in the day. That was my first introduction to them. And yeah, it did create a new world of movies being made where people would search out for these bigger... But it's not like... I mean, you saw more like Alien and Star Trek movies and such. Last Starfighter and more. And I don't know why that's not a bad thing at all. It's just you look at the stuff of today and... I mean, to say it's not as good would be taking it lightly. It's like, I don't know how else to put it, though. I really do not know how else to put it. Very satisfying moment. And we don't kill Darth Vader. Bullseye. That was 1 in a million. Yeah, I don't get the corny music and stuff. I don't know. Whatever. Like, does Mark Hamill say Terry? Like, Terry! Or if he said, hey, it was like, Terry, you know. And that's our 3 heroes. Well, more so with these 2. And yeah, Harrison Ford, on a quick note, I don't know why he hates this character so much. I mean, you wanted him to die in Return of the Jedi, wanted him to die in God and Force Awakens. Just seems like he hates talking about the character, he hates thinking about the character, he hates when it's brought up. It seems like the only thing maybe to talk to him about is Indiana Jones. That seems like his character that he loves and is most proud of. Which is, he didn't want to return to Star Wars movies, but he always wants to return for Indiana Jones movies. So I guess just more in love with that character. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, he's what, 80 years old now, and he's going to be Indiana Jones again? Because we all need an 80-year-old Indiana Jones for some reason. And yeah, I know, oh, Chewbacca didn't get his medal. Well, neither did fucking R2-D2. And it made sense because you have this like Trinity notion when they turn around. You have the two heroes there, supporting heroes on either side. That shot there with the three of them. And that's Star Wars: A New Hope, produced by Gary Kurtz. On a quick note, documentary-wise, I do recommend I don't know if it's on YouTube, but the documentary on Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, even if you're not big on the film, it's a very interesting documentary because through the course, it goes into the whole filmmaking process and the ups and downs, and I just find it really well edited, very interesting. And from the casting Jake Lloyd, and you could tell he's not really fit for it. Yeah, the beginning, making Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace full version by the Star Wars official. 60 Minutes interview, special effects set design, Anakin the kid auditions, 2 weeks before shooting, stunt coordinator. That is a very fascinating look into the way movies are made. The rough cut preview. Like I said, Phantom Menace, again, it's called The Beginning, Making Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Very interesting, hour and 6-minute documentary that is definitely worth a look. Very cool. Well, actually, I don't even know if you can watch it. It says you can, or is there something about you have to rent it or something? I should have looked. Clicked on it. I mean, it doesn't look like you have to rent it. Cool. See, that's cool. Like, have special features like that. Put it on your YouTube channel, watch it, you get there. I would prefer that type of stuff, man. For special features, at least in the future. But hey, what are you gonna do? But yeah, Star Wars: A New Hope. One more can be said about the film that hasn't been said. It's a adventurous fairy tale of a movie. It's a classic. I mean, what else can you say about this? It's a classic movie. There's a reason why it became so popular. There's a reason why it became so beloved. And I liked it. It's not a film I rewatch every year. Or, I mean, probably the last time I saw this is whenever I reviewed I think I reviewed the film. I can't remember when that was. You know, a couple of years ago. But yeah, still a movie that holds up to me. Hate the special editions. I don't know what the deal is. If George Lucas wrote in his contract, I could sell it to you, but you can't release these original versions on home video. I don't know. I really don't know what the deal is. If you do, please let me know. But I mean, it still holds up, still a good, fun movie, and a lot better than what the fuck we got from Disney in a long time in terms of, well, other than The Mandalorian. I do quite like that one, but other than that, there you go. So with that said, thanks for watching, take care, and we will see you guys later. Bye-bye.